welcome back to Code's Arcade. This is Ashank David. Good evening, everyone. In today's live session, we are gonna continue from where we left yesterday, and we are going to continue from the DSA prerequisite. Today, we are gonna talk about the storage classes in C or C++. Also, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of call by value, call by reference, which is very much important in DSA. In many concepts like linked list or stacks or queues, we will be requiring this to happen, and so we will be talking about that as well. And also today we are going to see some programs which are necessary for you all to understand how to do all those things, like how to create a pointer. Today we'll talk about a little bit of dangling pointer, a little bit of void pointer, a little bit of double pointers and all of that in one program, so that you understand the concept really well. Now, before I start with this live session, I would like to request you people to please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you won't miss any future updates. Now, let's get right into the concept, guys. We will continue from where we left yesterday. So, we have just understood about what exactly is DSA, what are pointers, what is dynamic memory allocation. We had talked about malloc, calloc, realloc, free, new, delete. Already we have talked about all of those things, and we have finished up dynamic memory allocation. Also, we are now started with, we have also done pointers yesterday. So in pointers we have done what are pointers, what are the different categories of pointers. There are typed and untyped, if you remember. And then we have discussed about what is the difference between typed and untyped, and then we have understood about what are the types of different pointers. So we have talked about while pointer, null pointer, dangling pointer, double pointer and void pointer. So all of these things we have done. In today's session especially, we are gonna talk about the storage classes and the other programs related to whatever concepts that we have done. So let us continue from there and let us understand in depth about each and every single thing. I will be going a little bit slow today because I don't want anybody to be left behind, and you guys can also ask me in the comment section. I can see the comments over there in the comments, in the chat. Alright, the screen is in front of me. I can just talk to you regarding whatever doubts you have. Let us continue and go ahead and start today's class, today's session with storage classes. Now, very important concept, guys, to understand. If you are doing DSA in either C or C++, we need to understand how the variables will behave. So a lot of things in storage classes will be taught to you guys about how does a variable behave. Understood? So let us understand about this. Generally, there are different types of variables, right? Generally, if we talk about types of variables, just remember this, guys. Variables. If you want to categorize a variable into different types, well, you can categorize it into three types. Okay, I would say normal one or normal variable. Next one I can say pointer variables, and the next one, third one, I could say reference variable. Three types. Okay, normal, pointer and reference variables. Okay, so here we are talking about these variables only, all the types, and in general about variables we are going to talk about their storage classes. See, all the variables will have a type of a storage class. So now, what exactly storage class will tell about a variable, that is what we need to understand today. You understood what is a variable? Variable is a named memory location. We have already seen this many times in our programming across till now. Okay. Now, speaking of its storage class, now this is a very about storage class I want to tell you about this, that this type of this concept here, this topic here is very underrated. Many students, they skip this topic. So what happens that they don't know about how the variable will behave. There are different storage classes, and every variable possesses some or the other type of a storage class. Now this is explicitly in C or C++. Now as I have told you the difference between Java, Python, C and C++ in the yesterday's class, I have explained you that half of the things are done automatically in Java and Python. Okay, Java has its own runtime environment, garbage collection, all of those things I have explained you in the previous class, right? So it's very similar to that. One of the reasons storage classes is also not present in Java or Python, but it is present in C and C++. Why? You have already understood this in the previous class. So if you haven't watched our previous class also I have explained all of these things, so you can go ahead and watch that video also. The recording is already saved as session 2 in our DSA live playlist. I have created that playlist, separate playlist, and I have kept all the recordings there. I hope so that you have understood this. Okay, so if you have missed anything, you can go back and you can watch our previous recordings. Okay, good evening everyone, Ritesh Kumar and Digital Dharma, right? So let's continue in our DSA class. So in our storage class, see this concept is very underrated, and a lot of people they skip this concept because they find this concept useless, but it's actually very useful. Knowing about what exactly is the storage class doing for each and every variable does matter, because in DSA there are a lot of things that you can tackle or see in different scenarios, so you should know about it. Yes, Digital Dharma, what doubt do you have? You can please ask your doubt. Alright. Meanwhile, we'll continue. As you are typing your doubt, we'll continue anyways. So, in our storage class concept, today we need to understand what exactly does the storage class do. See, every variable, as I have told you, in either C or C++ possesses some type of storage class. Now, each and every storage class will tell us about a variable. How does a variable behaves? How does a variable behaves? Understand or fine? We will talk about what is the type of a variable it is, we will be talking about where does it get created, so what is its storage, we will be talking about what is its scope, we will be talking about what is its default value, and what is its lifetime. These four things we are going to talk about in storage class, and storage class will tell us these. Okay, generally how many types of storage class? I hope so, but you have understood this really well. What exactly does the storage class do? Every variable has its own storage class and it possesses some of the attributes there. Okay, let's continue. So, speaking of the types of storage classes, I will create a small table here where I will explain you about what are the types. So here actually saying you have four types of storage classes. You have four types. Okay, and what are those? You have number one, auto, A-U-T-O, auto. Next, you have static. Okay, then you have extern, and at last, fourth one, you have register. Okay, auto static extern register. Okay, auto static extern register. These are the 4 types. Speaking of all these 4 types, about all these 4 types, we will be talking about 4 things, as I have told you right here, that we will be talking about its storage, we will be talking about its scope, we will be talking about its default value and its lifetime. Okay, let us continue. So in this case, we are going to talk about these 4 things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write them here. I'll say auto, I will say static, I will say extern, and I will say register right here. Okay. Now I'll create some lines and I'll explain you all these concepts in one by one way. Okay, so now there are, as I told you, there are 4 things. Okay. Those 4 things are the storage, where it gets created, it's a storage. Then we talk about the scope, okay, we will talk about its scope. Then we will talk about its default value, and then at last we are going to talk about its lifetime. So these are the 4 things that we are going to discuss. Okay. So if I zoom in out a little bit, you will understand this much better. Okay. I hope so that you are able to see all the things clearly. I hope so. If you are not able to see it, or if the font size is too much small, please tell us in the comment section. I will change it. I hope so this is visible clearly, which very important concept, so I want all of you to understand this. So as I told you, there are 4 types of storage classes: auto, static, extern, register, and we are going to talk about 4 things into it: where it gets created, what is its scope, what is its default value, and what is its lifetime for each and every storage type of class, like type of storage class. Starting with the very first one, auto. Let us talk about auto. So the very first one. Before I go ahead with that, I would like to first tell you about how does this looks like. How do you create a variable, guys? Can you tell me how do we create a variable? First we will write it, the data type I said int, and then I said a, I said int a. Let me write it clearly here. I said int a, this is the variable. Now I said auto here. See, I don't have to say auto for the first time. When you say just int a, when you just say int a and you don't write anything before it, by default the storage class of that variable becomes auto. Remember this. This happens in C or C++ only. See, every variable will have a type of storage class. Okay, And how do we get to know that this variable has this storage class? You will check before its data type. If there is anything written, that will be the type of the storage class. But when there is nothing written, it will be an auto type. Now guys, one more thing. You might have also seen people writing auto inside the for loop, right? You can say for auto I, something like this, right? This auto is very different from this auto. Okay, this auto is very different. The auto that we use inside the loops is very different than what I am talking about in storage class. Okay, when the time will come, we will have those kind of things also. When we will do graph concept in data structure, there we will be creating these kind of for loops where we will write auto. At that time I will explain you what is this auto. So don't get confused with the auto which we have written inside the for loop right now. Understood? But just remember this right now. Just remember this right now, that this auto is very different from the auto which I am talking right here. Okay? We are talking about this storage class auto. Okay? So when you don't write anything before data type, that happens to be an auto type of a storage class of a particular variable. Now, if I write static int a, then it becomes the static. The storage class becomes the static for that variable a. Understood? If I say here extern, then it will become extern type of storage class for that variable a. If I would have written register, then it will become the register type of a storage class. You see, can we not write, Rishabh Reddy has asked us one doubt, can we not write auto var equals to 2.5? It is treated, see, this auto is very different. We cannot actually write it directly inside our program. We can test it out. Okay, let me open up the VS Code here and let me write it. Hash include IO stream, I will say, and here I will say using name space std. We are doing C++ guys, so we are trying to do that. Int main, and inside this int main, I'll try to create a variable, but before that let me finish this boilerplate code. I'll say int a equals to 10, for example. Right now this is an integer type of variable. For your doubt, we are trying to write here 2.5. So when I write 2.5, I need to change the variable data type to float or double, okay, like this. But if we write here auto, okay, like this, then you see, let me just try to add it or do some particular type of operation into it. So if I say here int b equals to, let's say 10, okay, and if I say here cout, I'll directly say, for example, a plus b. In this case, let's see what will be the output in this case. You see, it is getting added. In this case, we don't have to write this auto explicitly. I can just say here int a, or let us say here, if I say here auto, you see it is automatically gonna take, just like how it happens to be in the for loop. When you write for auto I, it becomes the iterator which automatically takes any type of value, then there it works. But here also it works where it can takes automatically any type of value. In this case, let's try it with some other type of value. Maybe let's give us a, let us check one thing. Can this variable hold a Boolean value? If I say here true, something like this, Okay. In this case, yes, it is able to hold a value also, which is boolean. So in this case, it is able to hold any type of value. Rishabh Reddy, see where const will come, because it is not where const keyword will come, because it is not in the storage class, and also difference between const and static. Okay, see, const and static difference is that static is a storage class here, but const is a keyword which we use to create a constant. Understood? That happens to be when you declare a variable. About const, Surya. Okay, so there are two things. You define a normal variable where its storage class becomes auto by default. Okay, also you have const keyword. When you write const keyword, what happens is that const keyword will make the variable a proper constant. For example, if I write here, okay, for example, there is int written here, let's say, and I'm storing some random value, let's say 10. Okay, I'm saying here const int a, then this is not a variable anymore, it has become a constant. This value is always fixed in this case. So const is a keyword here. Well, static, when I say here static, it becomes a storage class. That is the difference here. Okay, I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay, I wanted to ask if auto var is equals to 2.5 is double by default. Now this question is doubtful. We have to check that, but you see, in other languages like Java, by default these type of values it takes as double only. Okay, but in terms of C++, I am not very sure about it, but let me check this and come back to you after some time, Rishabh Reddy, because I am not sure about auto var is equals to 2.5, it will be double or float maybe. In terms of Java, it is double. By default, it takes double value. So that is the reason why in Java you have to type F there.
If you are a working
Rishabh Reddy. But in C++, I am not sure about this. So I will be coming back to you later on with this. Okay. So excuse me for that. Okay. Then here we will be, so this is the static type. Okay. And in terms of auto, when we don't write anything, that becomes auto. Okay. But const keyword is different. Okay. So just remember this. All right. Okay. Let's continue. About this, your doubt, Rishabh Reddy, I'm gonna tell about this later. Okay. So at the rate Rishabh, when we write auto var, it's double only. Okay. Okay. I did not know this. So I'll still confirm about it and I'll come back to you later on, Rishabh Reddy. Okay. Okay. Fine. So let us come back to our storage class concept and let's continue. If there is any other doubt, please let me know as well. I hope so that I was able to, except for that doubt, I was able to clear your doubt as well for Surya as well, right? Okay, let's continue. So in this case, as I told that whatever type of a storage class we write, that type will become that type of storage class. Okay. Next, in this case, one more thing. If you think that, sir, we can write extern static register int a, then it is not possible. Okay. A variable can only have one storage class at a time. It cannot have multiple storage classes, correct? So we cannot do that. But let's continue. As I told, a variable can have only one type of a storage class at a time. Okay, all right. Next, let us start with our first type, auto. So as I told you, when we don't have anything, when we don't have written anything before the data type of a variable, it automatically becomes auto. Alright. Oh, got it. Thank you everyone. I checked and confirmed. Okay, so it is confirmed that it is by default take double value, and thank you Saurav, Ronnie for clearing our doubt. We'll continue with this, okay? Alright. So, let's continue here. We have auto static extern register. Now, these are the 4 types of storage classes, and you know how we declare them. When we create a variable, before writing its data type before only we write this. Alright, let's continue. Let's talk about the very first one, auto. When we are talking about auto type of a storage class, what happens is that, what is its storage, where that type of variable gets created? That type of variable gets created into your RAM of your system, random access memory. Okay. So, when you have created a variable A, normally whose storage class is auto, it gets created into your RAM storage. What is its scope? So, guys, its scope is gonna be, here we are gonna talk about 2 types of scopes, guys. I don't want to confuse anyone. You might think that it's local or global. No, I'm not gonna talk about local or global. What I mean to say is, I'll not rub this out, but I'll just say for example, we are talking about the scope, right? We are not going to talk about local and global. It's kind of local and global only, but I'm going to use a different terminology so that you understand it really well. We're going to talk about 2 types of scopes, that is block scope and program scope. Okay? We are going to talk about 2 keywords here, block and program. Remember this. Now, for confirmation and understanding, you see, I have created this type of variable. You see, I have created this variable int a equals to 10 inside this main. So, this guy is written inside this block. So, I can safely say that it has a block scope. Understand my point? So, this is the block scope. From this curly braces to this curly braces, it is one block. So, if any variable is having a block scope, that means it is available only inside that block. You got my point? And if I am using program scope terminology, then it means that it is available to the whole program even outside this block. I hope so that this is very much clear. I am not talking about local and global here. Local and global can be difficult to understand and it can manipulate in a wrong way. So, I am not gonna take that. Okay. Point to note in the interviews also, this does matters a lot, what you speak. Okay. So, I am talking about here block and program scope. Speaking of that, I said that, what do you think, guys? What can be it? An auto type of a storage class will have a block scope. Block scope means if a variable has an auto type of a storage class, it will be only available inside that block which it is written inside. Say for example, of course, this int a is not a auto variable. It is an auto type of a storage class variable. Its storage class is auto, correct? So, if it is written inside this block, its scope is also block, means it is only available inside this main. It cannot be called or used outside this main because it has block scope. Understood? Is this very much clear to everyone? Yes. Next, what is its default value? Can anybody tell me what can be its default value? Its default value can be garbage. Okay, garbage. You might have heard about this word or term called as garbage value. What exactly is this garbage value? You see, garbage value is a value which is initially stored to reserve some space in a reserved space, in an empty reserved space, to just reserve the space. Like for example, when you just declare a variable, when you just declare a specifically auto type of variable, by default it can have a garbage value. To prove, we can print and write one program. So, I go here in my VS Code and you see that, let's imagine that we have just declared this variable int a is just declared in the program. Now, I am going to say cout and I am going to say a. So what I'm doing is I have declared this variable and now I'm printing it. Okay. Let's see what will be the output. So when I run this code, you can see that it prints us some random value. This can be called as a garbage value. I hope so that this is very much clear. But whenever we are initializing it with something, say for example equals to 10, okay, in that case when I run this now, you see that it prints 10. That garbage value is now overwritten. Okay, so that is the reason why this is what you actually call as garbage value. Okay, I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay, you can see garbage value being printed. Now apart from this, okay, you understood what is garbage value. Now you might have seen somewhere people writing, when they create a sum variable, they write int sum equals to 0. Why? Because of the same reason. Because int sum has an auto type of storage class. It will by default contain a garbage value. We don't want that garbage value to get added with our real equation or calculation in the program. So we initialize it to 0 initially. I hope so that this is very much clear. Alright. So an auto type of variable has RAM, it gets created in the RAM, it has a block scope, by default value it has garbage value, and what is its lifetime? Now guys, we need to understand about its lifetime. What is lifetime? Lifetime of a variable is the time till when it is available inside our program, or program till the program is alive. Till the program is alive, or till where in the program, till when it is, the time I am talking about, till when it is available in the RAM for you to use. It does exist, it is living. In here, this also we will be talking about two things: block lifetime and program lifetime. Block lifetime means as soon as if the block gets over, it gets deleted or killed from the memory. Understood? It gets killed from the memory. Or if I say program, it will wait for the whole program to finish. I hope so that this is very much clear. Understood? So let me give you an example, small example. Let me explain it. You see, let me just finish this off first. I would say that the auto type of variable storage class variable lifetime will be block in this case. Block means as soon as that particular block gets executed once, it gets deleted from the memory in whichever block it is written. For example, this int a is written inside the main block. So as soon as the main block gets executed once, it is deleted from the memory. Understood my point, guys? Okay, so that is the thing that is happening here. This is your lifetime of a variable, in particularly speaking about the auto type of a storage class. I hope so that this is very much clear to everyone. Yes or no? RAM, block, garbage and block. These are the four things about auto. Okay. Next thing, we are going to talk about a static type of storage class. Static. When you write static before the data type, then you write the variable name. So you wrote a static, and when you wrote a static, let's say static int a, then it becomes static type of storage class. Okay. Say for example, here I wrote, in this case I wrote static int a. So for this a, int a, it becomes a static. The storage class has become static now. Okay. So what happens in static? Where does it gets created? First thing first, where does it gets created? So it gets created very similar to the storage class for the auto. It gets created into the RAM. Very easy. Then what is its scope? Its scope is block. Okay. Its scope is block. What is its default value? What is its default value? Its default value is 0 this time. Static type of a storage class will have default value as 0. Okay. Then what is its lifetime? This time the lifetime for static type will change to program. Understood? This is the difference between the static and auto. Everything remains same except for the default value and the lifetime. In default value, the default value this time becomes 0 and its lifetime becomes program. Means this time that variable is waiting for the whole program to get over. I hope so that this is very much clear. Alright. Okay. Alright guys. Okay. So it is waiting for the whole program. Now let us actually see with the help of an example. Okay. So in this case we have written the static int a, right? We have just declared and we are just printing. So right now let us print it and see what is its default value. 0 as I told. 0 is the default value. Correct? Okay. Then its lifetime will be program. Let me write a small program here to explain you. You see, I have created a function here, let's say called as void function, some random function I am creating, okay, and here I am saying int x equals to 10 and I have said static int y equals to 10. I have taken two variables here, int x equals to 10, static int y equals to 10. Okay, I have said see out, we are printing x some space and then we are printing y, alright, and we are going to the next line end l, alright, and then I am saying x plus plus y plus plus. Guys, you understood this? I wrote x equals to 10 int y equals to static int y equals to 10, so both are 10. I said x space y, okay, and then I have incremented it. So in this case what will be the output, guys? Can you tell me? In the call I am calling this function once, function, okay, I'll call in fact 2 times, okay. I have called this function 2 times. You have to tell me what will be the output. So you have 10 seconds starting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time's up. Can you tell me what will be the output? Here you might think that output will come as 10 space 10 for the first call. For the second call it will again, or maybe some people might say sir 10 and 10 again, or some people might say 11 and 11 sir. The output will come as 10 space 10, in the next line 10 space 11. How? Let me just run it and show you. I said run it, you see 10 10 10 11. Got confused? Let me explain you how this happens. Just now I have explained you the difference between auto and a static storage class, isn't it? I have explained you this. So now you see here, you see x is started initially by 10, y also started initially by 10. I have printed x 10 space 10 in the first call, because first call is made. Everyone understood this? It will print 10 space 10 and then they both are getting incremented. So this x is also incrementing to 11 and y is also getting incremented to 11. That is fine. So for the first call 10 space 10 is printed, and when the second call comes, the first call is over, the block ends. What happens here is that x is a normal auto variables, its lifetime is just the block, as we have just now seen, no, auto type of variable lifetime will be block. So as soon as the block gets over, the x gets killed from the memory. Understood? As soon as this block gets over first time, x is deleted from the memory. Okay? But why? Y, on the other hand, lifetime is programmed. So it does not get deleted directly. Rather, it waits for another call to happen. X will change but Y remains the same? No, the opposite, the ulta. X will remain the same while Y will change. Why I want to see, understand this. Aram se you understand this, guys. Okay, what I am saying is X is block scope, right? X is what? Auto type. So its lifetime is block. X is auto. So its lifetime is block, correct? So what did I explain you? That if anyone has a block lifetime, it will get deleted from the memory as soon as that block gets over, correct? So in this case, we made the first call and that function was called for the first time. And when this happened, it ran for the first time, one time, x initialized to 10, y also initialized to 10. They both get printed, 10 is space 10 is printed, then they both get incremented, x is also 11, y is also 11. Then what happens is, the block gets over, when the block gets over, x is deleted from the memory. Okay, understood? Alan on Shorts YouTube, understood? This is clear? For the first function call, 10 space 10 is printed. But in the first function call only, remember in the mind that they both are getting incremented. So x is also incrementing to 11. In fact, y is also incrementing to 11. Okay. Then what happens is that the block gets over, first call is done, and when the first call is done, that x equals to 11 from x plus plus gets deleted because its lifetime is block. The block got over, it got deleted. But y on the other hand is not deleted, it is waiting for the whole program to end, means it is waiting for the next function call to happen. Y was incremented in the first call only, in the previous call. Got it? Understood? So y is waiting for the whole program to end because its lifetime is a program lifetime. And remember this, guys, when you make something as a static, if it is taking the data from the previous iteration, it will remain and it will never be overwritten. In this case, y remains to hold the 11 into its hand, and then when the next function call happens to start, x is again reinitialized to 10. But y is retaining that 11 from the previous call. Understood my point? And what happens here is that this time 10 space 11 is printed. That means if I print 2-3 more calls, it will print 10, 11, 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 14 and so on. Got it, everyone? Alan, Rishabh, Surya, all the people. Alright. Let's continue to our next one. Extern. As you already know, extern, externally. Everything will be the program scope here. Easy. In this case, it gets created into the RAM. Same. Then its lifetime becomes, scope becomes program. You can say that whenever you use extern, everything forcefully gets the program. Okay, that means forcefully you made anything as global variable. From anywhere it can be accessed anywhere. It is available in the whole program. So that is why its scope is program. Okay, next is, what is its default value? Just like a static, the default value will be 0. Understood? And of course, the lifetime also for extern will be program. Alright guys, I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay. You see, we can take up one small example here to understand this much better. Okay. So, I hope so that this program is understood by everyone. Correct? Alright. Now, I am creating a function where we have, let's do this. I have said extern int x equals to 10. Now this will be wrong in this case because you cannot directly give the value to an extern variable directly. Okay, an initializer is not allowed to be in the local declaration of an extern variable. We cannot directly initialize the extern variable. You have to initialize it from outside. Okay, in this case. So what I can do is I can just declare it, but this is made globally. Okay, so its scope is global, its lifetime is global, means program, means it is available till the whole program. Also, it can only be initialized from outside. So these are small details about each and everything. Okay. All right, Pradeep Kumar. Good evening, sir, and you are giving nice explanation. Thank you so much. All right, let's continue. Okay, so extern int x. Okay, understood this? You have to initialize it from the outside. Okay, I can say here x. Well, don't have to say only x because it is of type int. I will have to say int x. Here I will initialize it to 10. Understand the point? Like this you will initialize it, but this x and this x is the same, guys. Remember this, a small detail. Understood? That is the difference. I hope so that this is very much clear. You got my point? Alright. I don't think so that there will be much of a change in this case. You see, in this case again it is doing the same thing, but you got the point. I hope so that it is very much clear. Alright. Next, the last one is gonna be our register. So when you write register in the front of any variable, let's say you said register int x, register float y, whatever. When you write register keyword, register reserved word before any data type of a variable in the declaration of a variable, that type of variable's storage class becomes register. Okay. So what all properties does this register contains? Let's talk about that. So in this case its storage is RAM again? Nope, no RAM. It gets created into the register this time. Register. Rishabh Reddy, sir, small doubt. Extern can be accessed from a different file. Extern from the same, static from the same file. Okay. I don't think so, Rishabh. Why? Why so? I'm saying is because you cannot just easily directly give the permission to access from. You see, unlike Java, you have packages there, right, Rishabh? So what happens is that we can just keep two Java files in one package, and I can use anything from that particular file into this file. But that is not allowed in C++. So if you want to include anything, you need to use #include preprocessor directive. So it is rather advisable to keep any type of variable which you want to access or include in a separate file, include that file using #include and then use it in your program. That would be much better. I hope so that this is very much clear. Understood, Rishabh? Right. Alright. Let's move on. I hope so that you are able to understand what I am trying to say. I am saying that you have to include the whole file wherever your variable is created. Well, extern does only has the capability to just be used inside the same file or in the same .c file in this case, because it has program and block scope. It's obvious, right? Yep. I hope so that you have understood what I am trying to say, Rishabh. Yes? Alright. We'll continue. So here a register type of a storage class is created inside, so register type of variable gets created into the register of your system, of your computer. Understood? What is this register of your computerized side? What is this register of computerized side? Okay. Imagine this. Imagine this. What is the RAM and what is register? RAM stands for random access memory. RAM is used to, so why do we use RAM? RAM is a working table for a computer. If you remove RAM, nothing can be done inside your computer. Why? Because just like how you see, if I want to use something or do something, I need a table to do that. Let's say I have this setup right here, and to display this is my laptop, but I am using a screen here, but my laptop is kept right in front of me on a table. So if I don't have this table, will I be able to connect it and then type it like this, how I am doing? No. Because I will not have a table. Where will I keep my laptop? So in real life, for me, this table is acting like a RAM, where I can just keep my things in one place and I can use them. Okay, understood this, guys? This is like RAM. But if we talk about register, so RAM is what? It's a type of a memory, right? Memory which allows us to keep all our files together in one place and randomly access the things whichever we want to, so that the access part is also done and our job is also done. Are you getting my point? So in my real life, for me, this table is acting like a RAM. It's a storage. Okay. Very similar to that, a register is my inbuilt onboard processor memory. Okay. If you have done engineering, and if in engineering you have done computer science specifically, which I don't know how many of you in the chat have done engineering, but if I tell you one example, okay, one scenario I am just telling you. In engineering, in computer science, there is one subject called as computer organization and architecture, COA, computer organization and architecture. In some colleges it is only CO, in some colleges only it is CA, okay, depends. Computer organization and computer architecture, there is a block diagram where we learn about all these different types of memories. We have MAR, we have MDR, we have registers. So if you are a computer science engineer, you can relate to it. But now for those people who are not done computer science engineering and they are sitting in this live session trying to understand, let me explain you this in a very simple way. The difference between register and RAM is just your random access memory. As I told you, this table is my RAM for me. My register is my brain, where I can use this brain to easily access whatever I want to access very fast, even faster than this table. I hope so that it is very much clear. Register is onboard processor memory. You have a computer, you have a laptop, you have a CPU inside it. Inside that CPU, you might have anything, AMD, Radeon, Ryzen, i7, i5, i3, i9, whatever, whichever gen. You have a processor, you have a CPU. Inside that CPU or GPU, inbuilt onboard processor memory. That is what you call as, in short terms, in brief, register memory. Okay? Register memory. Understood? What is the benefit of this register memory? Anything which is stored inside this can be easily, and it can be accessed very much fast and easily, lightning speed fast. I mean to say is, for a computer, imagine yourself being as a computer. For you, still RAM is too much far. But if you have it in your mind or in your brain, it is inbuilt. You don't have to fetch it from an external source. You can fetch it very fast. That is the idea here. Register space is your onboard processor memory. Now, why we want to create a register type of a storage class? Only for one reason, as I explained you, for faster access, period. For faster access, that's it. I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay. So, if you write register int a, it becomes a register type of variable who's having the storage class as a register. That means you can directly create a variable inside the register or onboard processor memory rather than creating it inside a RAM. Understood? Which allows you to easily and do a faster access in simple terms. Well, I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay, continuing. It gets created into the register. Next thing is that what scope it will have. It will have block scope. Very similar to auto. Okay. What is going to be its default value? Of course, garbage. Just like auto. And what will be its default, lifetime? If I am clicking onto the red pen, you might think it's block. Yes, it is block. Very, very similar to auto. I hope so that this is very much clear to all of you. So, register gets created into the register. It has block scope, it has garbage value just like how auto works, and it has the lifetime as block. Any doubts, please ask me guys in the chat, in the comment section, in the chat, wherever, whatever. Okay, these are your 4 different types of storage classes. I hope so that you have understood this really well. Questions are asked about this. You should know about it in interviews. That's the reason why I have included it into the prerequisite for DSA. A lot of things you need to understand. For that reason I have done this. But anyways, let's continue. Point to note, bonus knowledge point about extern. There is a fact about extern register storage class. What is that? Guys, listen to this very carefully. One bonus point for you to understand. Register type of storage class is, there's a fact. Let me explain. Okay. In this case, when you create a register type of variable, you said register int a. Now let me tell you, it is not necessary that it in real time in your computer our variable is getting created into a register or not. We have written it gets created into the register, right? We have written that it gets created into the register if I create a register variable, but not for every system. There is a catch here, guys, and the catch is that not every manufacturer allows you to access your register memory in your CPU, in your hardware. You might have a Dell laptop, or you might have a Lenovo laptop, or you might have an Asus laptop, you might have an Acer laptop, you might have an HP laptop, whatever company's laptop you have. It is not necessary that for each and every company allows you to access your own specific model number laptop's register memory. Okay. So you might think that you are creating the variable in the register memory, but you may not. That you don't know. Understood? That you don't know. So what will happen if your computer manufacturer doesn't allow you to create or access registers? Of course, the register variable will not be a register variable anymore. By default, it looks very much similar to auto. So automatically, even if you create a register variable and it doesn't support, it will automatically work like an auto type of variable. I hope so that this is very much clear. This is one scenario. One scenario is that your manufacturer doesn't allow you to use your register space, or the second scenario can be The second scenario can be your computers or laptops, whatever, registers are very much busy in doing some other task. Maybe in your program you are trying to use the register space, but in your program you are trying to use the register space, but what is happening is that you are not able to use it because the registers are busy. Well, I hope so that this is very much clear. Understood? Right. This is all about storage classes. I hope so that you have understood this really well. Any doubts you can ask me. Okay. Okay, speaking about the next concept, this is all your storage classes. Okay. All right. I'm going to go down a little bit. All right. So guys, yesterday I have explained to you about what should we do. We should do programs, some small programs. I have actually explained you about yesterday's class. In the yesterday's class I have told that tomorrow we will be doing any program that is related to whatever theory we have done, but the time is already over, but still I am gonna extend this class a little bit for half hour more, okay. So what I am going to do is that I am going to show you some programs here which we can write for yesterday's theory class to compensate it, okay. So yesterday's class we have done a little bit of pointers. We have done a little bit of pointers. So in pointers we have talked about wild pointers, we have talked about null pointer, we have talked about dangling pointer, we have talked about double pointer, we have talked about void pointer, okay. Wild pointer I have explained you that wild pointers are just declared pointers, okay. Null pointer are equals to just null, okay. Dangling pointer points towards non-existing memory location. Double pointer pointing towards another pointer, pointing towards another pointer, okay. And void pointer means void type of pointer, a pointer which has void type of data type which can point towards anything. I hope that it is very much clear. This is what we have done. Correct, guys? Okay. Let's move on to the program and let's write some programs on this. Okay. To understand about this, let me start from the very first one that I am going to do, and that is dangling. Okay. Guys, 1 minute, we are going to take 2 minutes break. We need to change the battery of our camera actually. So 2 minutes, we will be back. 2 minutes. Am I audible, guys? I hope so that I am audible and we are back. Our live feed is back. We are back. Am I audible? Okay. Let us continue. So here, okay. So here, let's write one small program on dangling pointers. Okay. So here I have created int main, because we are doing C++, I said return 0. Okay, so I have said I am creating a pointer, let's say int star ptr. equals to, I am going to allocate some memory to this using dynamic memory allocation. So that part is also clear and covered as well. I am going to use malloc here, but you do not have to use malloc every time, you can just use the new keyword in this case. So I am going to use it like this. So I have said int star ptr. Now I am saying equals to, I have to typecast the malloc type. So I am going to say malloc of let us say size of type int in this case. Yes, audible, thank you. You see, I have created a variable, I have created a pointer, allocated some memory. If you do not understand what I have done here is, you see, I have used malloc. Now it is DMA. Yesterday we have talked about this. If you have not watched our live stream, you can go ahead and watch that live stream also and come back to this. Later on you can do that, but let me just explain you in just one line, in 2 seconds, what is malloc. Malloc is a function which allows us to manually allocate one single large block of memory at a time to a particular variable or a pointer or anything in this case. So what happens is that right now what is the size of that pointer? 4 bytes, right? So in this case what I am done is that I am allocating one single large block of 4 bytes. So int is of 4 bytes, I have said size of 4. So if I say here 5 into the size of int, what happens is that it will allocate 20 bytes, 5 4s are 20. So 5 into 4 bytes of space getting allocated into that PTR. So 20 bytes will be the size of that PTR. Understood? Okay. What I have done this? Remember typecasting, guys. Int star I have written to, see, malloc will try to return a void type of a space. It returns a void type of value. So it's a function, it's a default function, and by the way, to use malloc I need to say here hash include stdlib dot h. Okay. For me, I don't know how it works, but for me in my VS Code without including this also it works. But for you it might not work, so make sure that you include this also, because malloc is coming from stdlib dot h. Okay. So I am saying here int star ptr equals to int star of malloc of 5 into size of int. Here 5 into 4, 5 4s are 20 bytes of space is allocated inside this pointer of type int star. Understood? So I have allocated 20 bytes of space. Malloc returns a void type of space back to that, but our space that we need to do is int. So what happens is that we have typecasted this whole function into integer type of pointer because it is a pointer. Got it? Now dangling pointer, as I told you, I said that it is a pointer which is pointing towards a non-existing memory location. Okay. If you want, we can print this out, but no need of doing that. It will not show you anything, but I can just print it out. So I will just say PTR, dereferencing it. So int star PTR. Okay. Nothing will happen though here. In this case, I will just say end L for end line for the next line. Okay. Now I have said free. Actually, before I say this, I would like to just run this program once. So it doesn't say anything, it's just saying the garbage value, because of course its default value is garbage, because it is of type, storage class is of type auto in this case. Okay. So right now it points towards this particular garbage value because it contains a garbage value. Of course it is a wild pointer. Okay. It is pointing towards a particular garbage location. Okay. But now I have said, in the next line I have said free PTR, or you can use delete also if you are using new keyword, but I am saying free PTR, I said free it. And when you say free it, what happens? Now this PTR becomes a dangling pointer, PTR, dangling PTR. Okay. I said free and that becomes dangling PTR. This dangling PTR is very dangerous. It should not happen into your program. So to neutralize this, you have to say here PTR equals to null, either in capital or you can use NULLPTR, NULLPTR. So it becomes a null pointer in terms of C++. plus. I hope so that this is very much clear. This is what you call as dangling pointer. As soon as you say free and you free up the space for the pointer, it tries to allocate, it tries to point towards some particular memory location, but it doesn't have because it is being freed. To resolve that situation, we use equals to null. Now it doesn't print anything, so there is no point of printing it, but you just have to understand the logic. Now you will never use this in your life. Let me explain this also, that you will never use this in your life, but the question can be asked about what is dangling pointer. Explain it with the help of a small example. In that case, you can give this example and explain that, sir, this is the type of a dangling pointer. This is how the dangling pointer works, and for that reason I wanted to explain you this with the help of this code example. This is a dangling pointer. You allocated some space to a pointer, you deallocated the space again, dynamically deleted the space allocated for that particular pointer, and it becomes a dangling pointer. Guys, I hope so that this is very much clear to everyone, right? Moving on to the next type, and that is gonna be a double pointer. Okay, we're going to wind up the class very soon, guys. I know it's a little bit more, but just 1 or 2 programs I'll do more and I'll finish this off. Okay, all right. So in this case, what happens is, let's say I'm not going to use this, let it be like that. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's understand about a little bit of double pointers, because this is going to be very much used in your linked list concept especially. Okay, let me explain you this, what I'm talking about. Okay, so I said here int I equals to 50. Int I equals to 50. I have created a variable called as I equals to 50. Okay. Now I have created a pointer int star ptr, which is having the address of I. So I is equals to 50 and int star ptr equals to ampersand of I. You have understood this? This is very much clear. Now this is the pointer which is holding the address of this I. This is the pointer which holds the address of that I. Got it? Now I am saying that I am creating another called as dptr, which holds the address of, I'll say equals to address of ptr. This pointer holds the address of I, and this dptr holds the address of ampersand of ptr in this case. Okay. So what happens is that in this case, whenever you try to create a double pointer, the number of star increases. So in this case, I need to give one more star. Okay. So I have to say 2 stars. You might have seen this somewhere in any of the random program or code. If you have seen this, please tell me in the comment section that you have seen this double star. Double star, wherever you see, it holds the address of a single star variable, a single star pointer in this case. See, where first number 1 rule of programming, if you see any point, if you only see any star, then it is a pointer hands down. But if you see multiple stars at one place, that means that is a double pointer which holds the address of another pointer. What is the use for this? Very soon you are going to see the use of it. Stay tuned and stick till the end of our DSA live session course. Every day we are coming. Most probably we will start this on Monday or Tuesday. By then I will explain you how this is working, how it is being used as in full configuration in double pointers, how it uses. But just remember this, okay? As of now, just remember this. I will explain you this in a more depth way, either on Monday or Tuesday when we will start with linked list. I am going to use this concept. For now, understand this, that a double pointer is a pointer which holds the address of another pointer. Understood my point, guys? So 2 star pointer holds the address of 1 star pointer, and if you increase the number of stars, then it keeps on holding the address of another pointers. In this case, let's say I have created int star 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 ddptr holding the address of dptr. You see, I said star pointer holds the address of I, double star pointer holds the address of single star pointer, 3 star holds the address of. Now why the number of stars are getting increased? So guys, if you remember, in pointers we have learnt that in pointers we use two things. In pointers we use two operators. Number one is ampersand and number two is star. Ampersand is called as referencing operator, while star is called as dereferencing operator. You know, when I say star pointer, it tries to print the value. Understand this. I's address is getting stored inside single star pointer. Okay, I's address is getting stored in the single star pointer, and double star pointer is holding the address of single star pointer. So if I dereference single star pointer, if I dereference this guy, just the PTR, single star PTR, if I dereference this, I will get to the value 50. Why I have used 2 stars here? Because if I say 2 times dereference, 2 times dereference will lead you towards this particular value 50. Repeating this, understand this guys again, that I'll draw actually. Let me just mark up the code and explain you. Here you see, this is, let me just explain this. This box is I is storing 50. Okay. Now I said this is a star PTR, just the single PTR. Okay, holding the address. Let's say address is 1111. Imagine. So I said 1111 is stored inside that PTR. Now PTR is also having its own address 2222. I said I am creating another pointer called as DPTR, which has the address 3333 on its own, but it is holding the address of PTR 2222. Are you getting my point? Now I have said that there is another pointer called as DDPTR. Its own address is 4444, but it is holding the address of the DPTR 3333. Now why 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star? Why the number of stars are getting incremented? Watch here. Now if you dereference this DPTR, DDPTR is having 3 stars. If you dereference it one time, I said if you dereference it, one time, what happens? You dereference it one time. That means you dereference 3333. You get the value 2222. You actually reached here. Okay. Now this is what it means actually, number of stars. So if 3 stars are there, it means you have to dereference it 3 times to reach this, this and finally this. 50 is the key here. Understood my point? Okay, what I am trying to say, you understood or not? So I dereferenced it once, I got till 222. I dereferenced it one more time. This guy got dereferenced and I reached here. And I dereferenced it again one more time. So what happened? I reached here 50. Guys, remember this. Ultimately, I want to reach till that particular value, and for that reason only I am using double pointers. I hope so that this is very much clear. Alright, one comment came, gamer. Hey, what language should I learn first? C++ or Java? I want to know if you are a beginner level programmer or you have done something before in past. If you have done something in before related to programming, then you can just revise the C programming concepts if you know C, and then come to C++ or Java. It is your choice. If you want to do DSA and learn DSA and you want an easy solution, easy way, go with C++. If you mastered Java, then you go do in Java if you like it in DSA. But gamer, if you want to learn DSA and you want to do it fast and easy, C++ is the go-to language, because it has object oriented thing, goodness of object oriented, it has pointers, it has dynamic memory allocation, it has everything. But if you are not experienced at all, if you don't have any knowledge about coding and if you are starting very new, I am getting into the college, zero knowledge, okay, learn C programming first. Before I get to know that, which branch you have got, you are getting, and in which college? Which branch, gamer? Any branch that you know, in which branch you are going? Maybe in computer science or information science or IT science, IT branch, or cyber security branch or AI/ML branch. Which branch you are going? Depending upon that branch, I will be able to tell you much better if you can tell me the branch name. If you are getting into college, which branch you are taking? Are you doing engineering or maybe a different course? You see, if on your comment, according to your comment, if you have zero knowledge, I will suggest you to do C programming first. Okay. Computer science and data science, very good. So you can do C programming also and Python also. If you want to get into data science, my suggestion would be to learn Python really well, understand Python really well. Okay. After you have done Python, I would suggest that if you are looking for DSA also, then do C and Python both. Start with C programming, okay. And once you get the heck of programming, the OG way in our language, in Gen Z's language, OG way of doing programming is learning C first. If you understand how C works, all the other languages are nothing then. It is very easy to understand other languages. But the ABCD, the place where you will learn the ABCD of coding is gonna be C programming. Yes, pursuing BTech. In your first year only, either in your first semester or your second semester, depending upon your which cycle, chemistry cycle. And so I'll tell you, when you get into BTech college, what happens is that there are 8 semesters. In your first semester, it's just general engineering, where you are taught everything. There will be 2 cycles, chemistry cycle and physics cycle. Now it depends upon your branch, what cycle will come first. Maybe your first semester can have chemistry cycle, or maybe your second semester can be chemistry cycle, but it's possible that it's like that, first semester, second semester, it will be either chemistry cycle or physics cycle. One by one it will rotate. In your chemistry cycle, you will see C programming. Understand my point? Learn that really well. The biggest mistake that students they do is they don't take C programming seriously, and then they suffer in third semester, because in third semester you will be taught DSA, data structure. Yes, trust me, just trust me, trust the process, and you will understand it very clearly. Okay, I am saying, when you are getting into it, learn C programming really well. Do not become lazy in learning C programming, because C programming will lay your foundation of your career then. I am telling you, trust me, trust the process, trust me, you will get into it. C programming will be the foundation in your career. Once you have understood C programming, start learning C++ if you want to go towards development or testing, because later on you will learn Java together with it. Okay, later on at some or the other point in your life you will end up learning Java. But before you start Java, I want you to understand this, that first C programming will be the base foundation, because that's the original way of doing programming, the very first programming language. In fact, that's the OG way of doing programming, procedural way, original way. If you understood that, then other languages becomes very easy. So if your C foundation is done really well, you can easily learn C++ and Java, because C++ and Java are 95% same as C. Just the syntax changes a little bit, trust me, okay, and you will be able to learn C++ and Java very fluently and easily. If your C foundation is laid down well, then at last you can do Python, and when you do Python, you can explore the data science of Python, data science of it. So for example, you can learn NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, PyPlot, PySpark, all those things to understand, go into data analytics first, and then slowly move into machine learning and understanding, how to become a data scientist, like this. So your flow should be C programming, then C++, and after doing C++, at some point in your life as a computer science engineer, you will learn Java, pakka, 100% you are going to learn Java as a computer science engineer, okay. So before Java, I would suggest you to do C and C++, both finish it. And if you want to fast track the process, we are also starting our batches from the next month as well, and if you want to inquire about that, we can teach, and we already have our other playlists related to C and C++ into our channel Coders Arcade, okay. So if you want, you can fast track it through that. Also, we are soon starting the batches also, so if you want to join that batch, let us know. We can start the batches and we can finish that in 1 month, the whole C programming, the whole C++. Then we can go with Java and we can do that. We have placement training courses, proper placement training courses, where we also do provide placements now. So we can also help you with that. But if you want to go on your own, you can follow our playlist for C++ and C programming, you will understand it, okay. Well, I hope so that that's enough for this live session. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. Gamer, Rishabh, Surya, and all the other ones who were there in our live stream. I hope so that you have understood today's class really well. We have talked about storage classes, we have talked about pointers a little bit. I was not able to complete all the programs though from our previous class, but I will try to complete it as much as possible on Monday. Our next live session will come on Monday, because tomorrow is again Sunday, so that's a weekend, that's a holiday. So we will directly see on Monday in the evening, same time at 6. But I want to ask you guys also that if you want me to change any time, please let me know in the comment section as well. According to you guys, I can change the time as well for the live session. This 6 PM live session we can change according to your requirement also. So if more people say that, sir, we want in this particular time, I can try to shift that in that particular time as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for being with me in this live session. I hope so that you were able to learn from my session and I was able to teach you. If you have any doubts, please keep on asking me about this, and it was very nice class. Thank you so much for your cooperation. I will see you guys again in the next session. Till then, you take care, and I will again see you in the next session. That will be on Monday. So if you want any changes, please let us know in the comment section below as well. The recording for this session will be put up. No, this is the best time, sir. Okay, this is the best time. All right, Surya is saying this is the best time. All right, so we can learn. Same time, then on Monday, same time. If anybody wants to make any changes, please let us know in the comment section also. We will continue from Monday onwards. We will finish up the rest of the remaining programs, and we will step into DSA, proper DSA. We will learn about arrays, stacks, queues, linked list, everything, trees, all those things. Okay, all right. That's all for this live stream, guys. Thank you. Take care, and I will see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Happy weekend, guys, and stay learning.